I think I see a bunch of holes that need to be addressed, right? I feel like this Enigma lane is going to go pretty horribly. Although, I wonder if they might try and change up the lanes a little bit here. We can already see WS positioning himself down towards the bottom side of the map. So maybe they're just going for this complete lane switch, realizing that, well, Enigma into Bristle is probably one of the worst situations that you've got yourself in. So why not try and change it up?
Okay.
They get they've got the observer ward placed down. They don't get a glimpse of WS because even though he didn't connect through, he was under the cover of the smoke. Now they'll see him though. They know that the Enigma's playing down towards the bottom side and it's being pinged out. So yeah, look at that. Bristleback Fortune Soul is just like, okay, I'm not going to run towards the top side of the map with the rest of the boys. I'm just going to stay around here for now. See what gets revealed on the back of this observer
30
ward.
seconds to battle.
I'm hesitant, man. I don't know this.
My predictions. Okay. Sorry,
yeah,
well, I got to do this real quick.
Yeah, you go do your predictions. I'm a bit concerned that Atlantis are very cooldown reliant and they don't have heroes to make plays. Like, we're expecting this, unless the Enigma continues to lane away from the Bristleback, then at least he's going to get off to a decent start, which is really one of my big concerns at the moment. But I just feel like Neon don't really need a whole lot. Like, you've got an Ember Spirit who's playing into a very free game. Like, I do think the DP lane might be a little bit DP favored, very slightly.
Sorry, can I just talk real quick? The Fortune Soul, I don't like how far back he went, because you could see as soon as the Enigma revealed that he was on the bottom side of the map, then he started running there. But Fortune Soul basically ran from like close to the dust all the way down here, so he's probably going to miss out on a few creeps, let alone just the ones that WS is going to be able to, I was about to deny through, but at least Sez going to be there to soak up half of that ranged XP. They're going to go for this offensive tri-lane, or defensive tri-lane, whatever you want to call it, some kind of tri-lane up on this top side of the map, just to try and get that early kill before rotating through to help out the Enigma.
And I think it's really big that they haven't enabled the Enigma by blocking up the hard camp. He hasn't kind of microed his Eidolons as well, considering, I mean, you're kind of forced to do it now for support. Yeah, top lane, play hard. Should be able to get the kill. Beautifully done. Mango Rose with the Metamorphosis. Ayad steps in with the tag team, and it's what you need. I mean, I love a good tri-lane when you've got a task, at least just starting with the tri-lane as well. This tag team early on with 3 members does such a ridiculous amount of damage early on, so I like this from Atlantis.
Right now, he was playing really aggressively. When the Bristleback's just level 1, there's not that much kill threat there. Of course, Set didn't have the Holy Persuaded target as well. He actually ends up getting one of the best ones in the Ghost and uses that to be able to get this pull off. But now that he's even just level 1, it means that WS doesn't have the freedom to walk into the lane quite so easily. Like, you have the potential of getting turned around upon, especially once Fortune Soul hits level 2. I kind of want to see him go up in the Viscous Nasal Goo immediately and look to go for a kill, because you'll have slows. Slows on slows on slows. Maybe not stuns for the very moment, but it still feels like it's an incredibly strong timing that they can look to play around.
Top lane, they're on to play hard. A little bit of damage, but there's that fissure like we were mentioning. But Ayad already having the level 2. Trying to play with the shards, but play hard will be able to cut his way through. We do see both side lanes with the hard camp being open, they're able to kind of manipulate the creep wave. So Mango Rose is going to free farm up top, which means that the Brewmaster can really only look to just soak some experience. And bottom lane, we've already mentioned Fortune Soul with having the lane back towards his side. That means he's going to have a great time versus WS. So now it's up to mid and how we can see the supports look to try and manipulate this lane as well.
I'm liking WS's micro, though, not giving these Eidolons up for free. Like, if you're spamming out the Quill Spray, it means the lane is naturally going to push back into you underneath the tower, and Bristle's not quite yet at that point where he can look to go for this solo kill. He's actually got a few of the Quill Sprays stacked up onto him already, but as long as WS backs off, I say he's not in a position to die. He's got to be a little bit careful, though. 10 stick charges. Actually ends up feeding a few of those Eidolons away. So never mind, WS, cast a curse coming through, and then you immediately do the opposite of what I'm commending you for. Eventually the TP does or the rotation, not even a TP, come down from Ayad, making sure that Seth isn't just able to continue farming up. He's got more net worth than his Brewmaster right now, and he's looking to try and put a stop to that. But TP's had a good start. That's what you want. Mango Rose, obviously, in terms of carry-to-carry matchup against the Bristleback, feels pretty solid.
I'm just trying to see how Enryu is going to be able to play this next minute in particular here with the Brewmaster top. Again, their biggest issue is this creep equilibrium. Ponyo's doing a really good job to be able to block the small camp, so they don't have this to be able to reset the wave. So, yeah, again, Enryu's really struggling with just being able to find any CS. It's only just the experience at the moment that he can leech.
One of those unfortunate situations, but you got to take what you can get. You know, it's always a game of give and take, Dota, right? And it's always just like, well, we hope that we can take a little bit more. Greedy players are Dota players.
Are you in particular as a greedy support player?
Never. I've supported you. You know this. I am very selfless.
Oh, yeah, like you yoinked a couple of my kills. That's right. I remember. I'll never forget.
The kills wouldn't have hhappened without me, all right? Let's get this record straight. Sure. Fortune Soul down on the bottom side. He's still actually gone into the Soul Ring, which makes sense for a Bristleback, right? Like, you're still going to be able to get a lot of that farm really early on. You're going to have plenty of regen coming through from your natural build into the Halberd. It's almost entirely physical damage coming through, so Pipe, third one, Hood, not really needed this game. And so it's going to give him plenty of survivability against the TV, the Eidolons, the Tusk. Really solid.
And something that we mentioned in the draft as well, with the free lane that the Bristle's going to get, this will enable the Chen. You see Sez getting a ridiculous amount of farm, but he's also made a couple of stacks in the jungle. There's a double of the Ancients already for the Bristleback to fall back on, so I hope they continue to try and make some stacks for Fortune Soul, who's in a bit of trouble at the moment. WS is not going to be able to continue in this aggression with Ayad, as Cool's really starting to stack up.
They just got to wait 10 seconds and then do exactly what they just did again. They've been able to... Wow, actually, Ayad TPing top on the back of some aggressive moves coming through. I really wanted him to stay bottom. He just hit level 3. You could have gone for that... an extra point into the tag team, maybe just because he doesn't have the mana to get all 3 spells off. But Bristle was sitting low, and you had this Enigma that's level 5 with an Urn. You got to get that early charges into the Urn of Shadows if you're going to have any kind of success. But with that movement up top, it means that you're not going to have that same kill threat, and it might actually be the opposite. Seth, with the army coming through, just trying to see if they can go for a dive here onto the Enigma. He's level 6, though. Don't want to be diving too deep.
Oh, they'll just use the summons for it instead. On your TP's in the nick of time to keep WS alive, and unfortunately for Fortune Soul, maybe not having the mana help with this dive. So Ponyo will keep WS okay for the moment. Wonder if they bring an extra hero to play with this black hole, but I guess mid lane, Wonderboy, he's popped the Exo, so they're starting to get a decent amount of damage into the tower.
Yep, someone's going to need to deal with this. Ember's TP'd all the way back to base. He's going to look to rejoin to be able to stop this if he can. Just a little bit careful, though.
This is not good. Oh, woo.
Still a lot of damage into this tower, man. Exo, a few seconds left on it. Half damage for the first use of the Exo. I think you're generally pretty satisfied with that.
And they're going to get the kill on Sarah as well. Damage will be there. Nicely done. It's also an issue, the fact that Avatar mode, he TP'd back to base, it refilled the resources. As soon as he comes into the lane, they just bring him down to, what, 1/3 health now to play with, so he can't really posture aggressively to still stop Wonderboy from maybe getting these right clicks out, so that what would usually be a play for the Ember to come back in and freshen up a little bit, now he's not really playing with that advantage.
No, definitely not. I mean, he's just doing all he can to try and shove this lane out, making sure that there isn't that potential to go for the consistent push into the tower, as even just having to back off entirely. Of course, no TP to be able to play around, so might be forced to actually just run back to the base entirely. It's certainly not what you want. Fortune Soul doing the job of his support, just pulling the lane away from the Enigma. He realizes how big of a threat this Enigma is now, especially that he's level 7. So maxed out demonic conversion. Yeah, The Eidolons much tankier than they used to be. We want to see him go just a single point into the Midnight Pulse as well if they were looking to go for that dive.
Great position from Ser as well on the Chen inside the triangle. He moved back over as soon as the Omni Knight was starting to maybe move inside and try and scout at this stack, which is really going up to a hefty stack for the Bristleback to farm. So the fact that now Atlantis haven't been able to scout this out, because they had a lineup that could definitely move over and try and take that with the X on some of the support rotations. Yeah, he's all right though. Just the shards is off the mark. Very close from Ayad, especially with that TP in from Wonderboy.
Yeah, pretty big commitment coming through. It just frees up Avatar mode to have even just a couple of seconds free, you know? It feels really significant just to have that potential as have they caught Mango Rose?
Mango? I think they have the fissure. A bit of an awkward spot for them to play with, close to the T2 tower, so Ponyo's going to be able to TP in, but into the Heavenly Grace set's going to be purged off. Doesn't have enough mana for the purification as well. Great movement coming up from Neon. That's the first use of the Primal Split, but bottom lane, Fortune Soul, he'll go down as well. So even though they lose the Terrorblade on the opposite side of the map, Fortune Soul will take a tumble.
Takes 3 heroes to be able to do it though. And at least they get the urn charges as well. Wonderboy trying to put a little bit of this pressure onto the tower. Of course, it was with the use of the Arcane Rune as well, so looking to be as efficient as possible. Avatar mode just trying to shove out this lane, but, well, not anywhere close to being able to picking up that
Then great snowball from Ayad, and the shards are even better. But the fissure holds back the damage from Mango Rose for the moment, but all they needed was WS's little bit of control out of the Malefice, which means that Enryu should not be able to step out. The misses, no way.
The Drunken Brawler, man.
Oh, he might be able to make it off to the other side, though. They do lose another support. Wonderboy was able to chase down Ser on the Chen.
Don't you love 45% evasion just with a single point into the Drunken Brawler?
Yeah, it's great ability. I want to see the Brewmaster a little bit more.
It is a high skill silly hero, so yeah, I agree. It's always fun to see a great brew player. We're blessed with having a few of them in the SEA region. Say KP and FBZ would be at the top.
Look at that, Fortune Soul, he's blessed as well. Oh my.
Take down, like, this is genocide, basically. Just being able to take all of these ancients at once. Neutral item, neutral item, neutral item.
I mean, the fact that Terrorblade's still higher net worth than the Bristleback after that stack has completely been taken, just props to Mango Rose and how much farm he's really been able to get out of the Terrorblade. It did an incredible job at the lane swap, and even the Enigma as well has gotten a decent amount out of the lane, like WS. 56 last hits, and he's going to be going to a Blink Dagger next. He has the urn completed at the moment. He's going to look to shy away from the Spirit Vessel, wanting some way to be able to help initiate these fights is the call from the Enigma.
Yeah, that's why I was quite surprised with Ser once again. Like, he didn't really have that much of a presence in the laning phase, right? He went off into the jungle looking to prioritize his own farm.
Smoke's gonna pop. Oh, he tries for the shard play as well. Ponyo's nearby to buy him some time. The rest of Atlantis are not TPing in to maybe take a skirmish, and oh no, Enryu feels forced to use the Primal Split. They should be able to catch up to Ponyo. They need the extra kill to the Omni to make it at least worthwhile from expending that second Bruce Split of the game. Looks like Enryu by himself might be able to do it, although Ponyo is getting pretty close to the T2 tower. But they've got the spam from afar, fissure into the slight, and they'll get the kill. But bottom lane now, Exo into WS, he's charging up the black hole if he can find an opening. A poker stick on 4, there's the ultimate out, and now Wonderboy can just freely dish out the damage, but not having to worry about hitting into the back of the carry of Neon. And he's even looking for more. He's going to charge on forward, he might be able to get the kill on Ser. The spirits taking over the life of the Chen. Man, this is now deep if I had...
Maybe he likes to go for the wraparound there with the Tumbler's toy, but might look to get that one off, and right now he's just forced to try and run away. Mid tower sitting pretty low as well, so Mango Rose putting a little bit more pressure onto this still. No Maelstrom picked up yet by Avatar mode, just a simple 200 gold away, but it's 200 gold that you needed. You needed at that stage to be able to pick it off. Play hard. That's a optimistic use of the Echo.
God damn, Avatar mode to the north, he wasn't able to jump in and follow up, and especially with the split on cooldown, Enryu wanted nothing to do with that team fight. So Tier 1 Tower is going to end up going down here for Atlantis.
Feels like a lot of unforced errors coming out from Neon, right? Like, you didn't really need to use that Primal Split. You didn't need to use that Echo Slam. You probably could have had the Chen just in lane with you with the Bristleback to try and dominate the Enigma and make sure, like, WS is level 10. That's pretty significant considering, like, Bristle is a hard counter to the Enigma, and he was solo for the majority of that laning stage with a Chen and a Bristleback, one of the strongest laning combinations that exist in Dota right now. So for him to get away with this with no deaths, level 10, it's kind of nuts. And he's got a Midas.
And he's got room to make some incredible plays as the game goes on, because they do not have answers to the BKB Black Hole. Like, he tried to answer him in the lane, but they just weren't able to execute the lane that really should dominate the Enigma. And now he's going to prove to be a big issue as this game goes on.
Legit have nothing, hey. Really just needs to be on, like, Sand, for example, to get the Wraith Pact or something.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Like, that's your counter to the Black Hole. Just try and survive through it.
That's not going to be easy at all, with how much damage they can pump into it. With the Terrorblade off to the outskirts, the Death Prophet as well, who's off to another very good game. I mean, look at the gold in the bank here for Wonderboy. He's almost got 4K in the bank. Umming and ahhing between, I guess, if he just wants the VKB or not.
You want the VKB. Feels a little silly, to be honest, that he's not buying it, though. Yeah.
Let's go.
You know me. Spend that money.
Bottom lane, WS. Considering about the dive. They need to bring him down before the rotations, but the TPs are starting to come out, and the important one's going to be Ponyo. They're cycling the Omni Knight into the air, dispelling off the Enigma as well, so they should be able to secure the kill. But can the rest of Dire stick around? It's an incredibly deep attempt under the tower, but as soon as they cyclone the Death Prophet into the air, that's going to help mitigate all the damage from Atlantis without the help of the Terrorblade here. Wonderboy now, he'll still try and find an opening to charge up the Echo, but Enryu, he steps out. Cutting through the tree line, the shards almost blocking out Wonderboy, but they'll use the fissure instead, and Neon, they're out.
Well, expend the big cooldowns, play around your vision. You've still got plenty to be able to play around yourself, with the exception, of course, of the Primal Split, but well, they're just giving time, giving space for Bristleback just to get that little bit of extra gold. He's 50 away from being able to pick up the Aghanim Scepter, and then the QW spam can begin.
Another kill onto Aya down bottom. Shard will make it a little bit more difficult for them to find it, but in the end, kill will be secured, and the lane's going to be shoved in once again. So it's going to force more members of Atlantis to come defend bottom. Excellent cooldown, though, is not going to be easy if Neon bring the reinforcements. If they bring the numbers to take this tower, they should be able to secure it.
Well, the WS might have a thing or two to say about that. He's got the Blink Dagger picked up, coming out on the courier now, so if he could get that surprise reveal, maybe this is the turnaround that they need. TP still farming incredibly well. Do they have a smoke for him to play around with too? I wonder if he'll ask Ponyo to be able to pop it just so he can go for that full wraparound, but they're going to back off entirely. They seem to think that they've got some kind of vision there on play hard.
We do see at the moment with everything that's going on across the map, Mango Rose is free farming on the Terrorblade. Top of the net worth. Skadi being worked on next item. It's going to bypass the Manta. Do we feel like this is a Terrorblade that is unaddressed, or do Neon have some answers to Mango Rose as the game goes on?
As it goes on, yes. For right now, no. Like, you've got the Bristleback sure with the Aghanim Scepter, but they're actually going to back off. Really, just not seeing the Enigma makes them feel so scared. He's going to reveal on the lane and he'll show that he's got the Blink Dagger at time. So I wonder if they're keeping that in mind, just saying, well, we either need to get right on top of WS and deal with him, or we need to avoid him entirely. Looks like Orchard Soul's going to run on forward and reveal the positioning coming through. They want the bigger target, though. They see the TB illusions. They see how much time is expended on them. Just if you click on the illusion with the timer ticking down about a quarter duration, so they're going to see, well, okay, what is this farming patterns like? How much do we know about Mango Rose and where he likes to farm in this position? And well, he's taken a really conservative position inside the tree line. Oh, do they see the illusion? They see it was just sent out.
That was
Nicely
way too
done.
close. They saw, Atlantis saw Neon smoke. I was so surprised that he still stuck around for as long as he did up top.
Again, these are T-Guy qualifiers though, man. You got to take those really aggressively, or let's call it a conservative, greedy approach, you know? Where you're getting the most out of the map and getting away with like 1 or 2 seconds to spare.
Yeah, that's a calculated risk coming out from the Terrorblade. You know, recognizing how much time he has.
I said.
I mean, usually it's the other way around. So I'll take the dub on this time if we want to label it like that. Roche is started a little bit for Neon.
I feel like they
Yeah.
don't want to take this fight just yet. I mean, you're 150 gold away from a Wraith Pact on Enryu. Like I was saying before, that the Chen will need to get it. They're clearly feeling like with how good the early game's gone for the Chen, with how much of a free farm game the Terrorblade has, that you need to pick it up much sooner. And so if you're able to get it onto a core, even better.
It's just scary though. Mango Rose, first time he's going to look to show up to a fight. They got the blink in there, the jump as well, the chain control, but the snowball through, but the hand of God. It'll keep Avatar mode alive for the moment. How do you want to take the fight now from Neon? You've got the threat of the Primal Split. You need to split them up. They'll deal with the Tusk, but eyes need to be over to WS. The Enigma positioned to the southern side. He's slowed down for the moment. If they can get on top of the Enigma, that's going to be their turnaround potential on Atlantis. They won't have this now. They'll kill off the Omni Knight. They'll cycling up the Death Prophet as well. But Atlantis, they're waiting the wings, buying their time, waiting for that opportunity. But it's still not a rise. There's none for them. As Neon, they're doing an incredible job of just splitting the map, making sure. And they do just that. They kite the Exo, they kite the BKB along with the meta. That's perfect from Neon. They do everything they need to do versus an Enigma. They make sure that no opportunity arose for him to jump in.
Yeah, and even just small things as well, like play hard, making sure to play ultra conservatively, because he is still the main way that you're going to be able to disrupt that black hole, right? You could split up as well, but sometimes there's a...
Jump into the Earthshaker. It's going to be the Brewmaster instead. So they'll be able to kill off Enryu. Metamorphosis is going to expire shortly. No EXO as well. This is all on WS.
That's for sure. I feel like Neon, they have the liberty to be able to wait 20 seconds. You know, you got a Brewmaster coming back up. That Wraith Pact is going to be very important. I feel like if he drops that, you've got the Hand of God in 60 seconds, but Mech's going to be in 25. There's really not going to be a way that you die without that meta being available, or the EXO. Just looking to try and delay things out, wait for those big cooldowns. Using the Midnight Pulse is a bit of that fear factor coming through from WS.
It looks like Wonderboy wants nothing to do with this. Going to try and push bottom, shove up the lane. With this going on, Neon, they're not worried at all. Into Roche they go, Wraith Pact out. This should be a guaranteed Roche. No contest is going to come out from Atlantis. They will be forced to back up. And now Neon, they're playing with the first Aegis advantage, giving this over to Fortune Soul. And what can we expect out of Neon? Do we feel like they can claim the map even though they are down the net worth lead? Can they get some objectives?
So I think they can now. If I'm them, I'm playing mid or I'm playing top, because you see the TB illusion top that Avatar mode just dealt with, and TB just showed bottom right next to that observer ward that was placed down in the lane. So I feel like you got two options. You either go balls to the wall onto the Terrorblade where you know exactly what his positioning is, or you go to the other side of the map where you know he can't connect and he's still such a big portion of their damage. DD Rune going to get denied right in the face. That's a little bit unfortunate, but I feel like they've missed a little bit of a window here on Neon. They might still look to just connect through onto this bottom tier 2 tower while they can and look to take it away, but they're going to have the glyph available, so they can again just look to stall things out that little bit further. EXO up in one, Meta up as well if they were wanting to with the Chrysalis, plus the black hole. Maybe just feeling like that'll be a little bit too far considering the double life coming through for Fortune Soul.
Are they going to do this? They're not going high ground, are they? All right. I don't know if you can take a high ground fight. This could be very scary. Neon need a lot of map to be able to run around in these team fights to split up the Enigma. The Shards is going to make it that much more difficult. I don't know, Denok. This is very, very risky. They don't have a big lead here.
seems to me like the call is from Atlantis, just stay out on the map for as long as you can. Try and push things out, try and force them back. I mean, they've taken a tier 2 tower in response to this, despite being without an Aegis. Like, TB is farming, DP is pushing. Maybe now the TB is going to come back when he uses the Conjure Image to keep things pushed out. Not before taking the outpost, but yeah, it does feel like a little bit of a dangerous proposition to just be going up onto this high ground without any sort of information. Maybe with the BKB now, Fortune Soul feels a little bit more confident.
Oh, they're going to jump in. Bristleback facing the front. A boatload of damage onto him to start, but he's going to be healed up thanks to Ser. I think they're going to live to see another day on Atlantis. They did a really good job dropping the Midnight Pulse on one of the creep waves. It forced the Bristleback out. And before the next wave connected, they jumped him so he didn't have the health pool to be able to lead up the high ground again. So Neon, they recognize they can't try and butt their heads into Atlantis' base, and they need to smoke out on the map. And Ayad, here's their target. Get the snowball. Ponyo on the high ground as well. Nice blink. Very nicely done from Ayad. He's going to get up for the moment. He's going to be relying on the shards to get to the low ground, but unfortunately that's off the mark. So they will finally kill off the task, but look at what the Terrorblade's doing. Cutting top, trying to cut mid as well, but the illusions, Fortune, sorry, Mango Rose is just getting so much farm across the map.
Even just WS on the bottom side, right? Staying in the trees for as much time as he can, not revealing too much about his positioning. They're pinging out exactly where he is. And
he's in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble. WS, they're even going to poke on full player, drops a big Echo Slam, the damage racking up, and WS will go down. This should open up the tier 2 tower. 40-second window here for Neon.
It's up the tower. Looks like they might just look to try and reliably take this. Wonderboy is actually getting dived a little bit, but Fressy picked up Kaya inside, just going to make him a lot more reliable. Actually went for the Grip Swarm -2 second cooldown. Don't really see too many Death Prophets go that these days, considering how strong the Spirit Siphon is in the earlier stages of the game.
Maybe they feel like they need it for the D push that we're going to see in the next couple of minutes. That's really the only thing I can think of.
I mean, if you're going into that, I kind of want to see him...
Jumping Aya? Again, they're trying to hit from the front. They popped a meta. Oh, no.
Aegis is still up?
Oh, that's
very, very odd choice. I mean, he had the Silver Edge. Maybe he thought he's got the area control to be able to take him down, but clearly not. So Neon, even though they'll feel sad of being not able to invade onto that high ground with the Aegis and claim something substantial, cooldown on the TB feels like it's enough.
Smoke.
You know, it's going to give them the time.
You got to go. You got to smoke.
Do they have one?
They do. They've got one on Ayad. They've got good positioning in the lanes as well. They've even got a better Observe Ward kind of back in Neon's territory. No one has pathed their way underneath it just yet. They're not going to get anything out of the middle.
Here. For WS, like, he's putting himself on the front lines, kind of, even walking dangerously close towards that that cliff to the right-hand side of the Roche pit. Could have, of course, been picked off with all of these items that Neon have been able to purchase for themselves during that Aegis timing. But doesn't for now. I just feel like this is a game of many missed opportunities, though, for both teams. Being able to go onto high ground, a few misusages of these big cooldowns, potential Roche fights that could have happened, and to me, it feels like Atlantis are taking slight better advantage of this, despite the fact that their heroes, one-to-one, are countered quite effectively by Neon's lineup.
Do we feel that in the late game, though? Because, again, there's going to be no answer to the Enigma late game. It feels like the Terrorblade matchup against the Bristleback is pretty decent. I feel like...
You've still got the Brew, though. You've still got the Brew, which is going to deal a lot with a lot of this early aggression, right? Even just tossing the Flame Panda in onto wherever the Enigma's trying to come in for that AoE damage coming through, stopping the Blink from coming in. It's little plays like that that could turn these team fights, and well, we've been praising Enryu about his ability to carry a game.
Oh, he's just going to split aggressively. A jump in from WS. There's the black hole, and now they've got plenty of damage. Fortune Soul. They'll kill him off. No remorse from Atlantis, and now they're looking for more. Trying to find the +1. But a great use of the Cyclone from Enryu. Are they going to go back in? You can't group up because play hard! What an echo!
Maybe you
But
can.
there's no follow-up. The silence preventing the Fissure control, so they're going to be able to reposition. Ponyo gets the defensive toolkit out. The Guardian Angel preventing Avatar Mode's
No
damage.
remnants.
And he's out of remnants. He's in trouble. A blink going forward with the body blocks is Atlantis. They stem the advantage that Neon had. They've got a 5,000 net worth lead, and they are now in the driver's seat in this game too.
It's the power of that break, right? It was pretty good positioning coming through from Set. I say that as he almost gets picked off by Ayad on his Tusk. Oof, just another Ice Shard's barely off the mark. But he got the Hand of God, he got the Mechanism, he got even the Holy Locket, I believe, onto the Bristleback, but he was broken. He was broken inside of the Midnight Pulse and a Terrorblade, right-clicking him all throughout that. So it still results in him falling down at the end of it all, and
they're going to go back in. He's got a BKB to play with this time on Fortune Soul. They'll expend it early, and now Neon, they need to get kills off the back of the BKB. They're going to charge him forward, but they're going to be cautious about Mango Rose as well. They haven't dealt with the Terrorblade for the moment. Fissure's going to help them retreat, but no Fortune Soul! He can't get out! The Fissure locks him in no man's land as Atlantis pummel into the Bristleback, his second death in a row.
Certainly not where they saw things at the beginning part of this game. Good use out of the meta this time around, and the break looking to try and go for that wrap around. Ser has to be a little bit careful here. Try and take some of that real estate off the map. Just a minute left on the Roshan, so if you're able to take away that tier 2 mid, it means that now the most important resource, it feels like, is those buybacks, particularly for Neon. Anytime that you're going up against the black hole, don't block off your teammate again.
Here. The BKB, I don't think it's going to be enough. Oh, we look for a TP up, maybe with the bonus health. Oh my, that was way too close. Beautifully done from Ponyo again, this Omni Knight. Back-to-back fights now. We're seeing if the Omni can get his abilities off. He's a key factor into Atlantis' success.
For sure. Anything big coming through from Fortune Soul, this is going to be a pretty big timing for him, being able to pick up the AC. Even just the plate mail, to be honest, just so that you can withstand a little bit more of that damage coming through from the Terrorblade. Like, he's obviously going to have the Silver Edge to get rid of your Bristleback passive, but if you could just look to amp up your armor a little bit, maybe you survive that couple of seconds longer to enable you to get off
look at this ward. They might just jump Fortune Soul again. If they just want to solo Black Hole him, Shards are going to lock him into a position. Beautiful control, and WS is in, but the instant answer. Play hard. He'll keep the Echo, stopping it in its tracks. An ulti for an ulti. And now Neon, do you want to reposition? How do you take the skirmish?
Gotta kill the Enigma.
And Exorcism's going to be committed. Another beautiful Fissure. Play hard, just tearing Atlantis apart, one ability at a time. And now they're guarding the Death Prophet to perfection, avoiding her at all costs, trying to deal with the supporting cast. As Ponyo is taken down to the face of the earth, Wonderblade will escape it.
Mango Rose?
Mango Rose? He's tucked in the tree line. Mango Rose, cautious, my friend. Don't let him. No, they're going to see the illusion.
Don't show your illusion.
They're going to see him. He's going to pop out.
Are they going in?
Mango Rose, he's going in. He wants kills instead. Screw playing defensive. Let's get blood. Let's get kills. He's got the BKB, Sunder to play with, and the rest of the reinforcements. So Mango Rose, it was just a bait. He sprung out of the trees. They weren't ready for it, but all they got was the Chen. Again, another heavy investment out of the Terrorblade.
It's not going to result in too much gain either. Heavy investment for not much gain. Sounds like my stocks history, but coming through with the Metamorphosis, still half duration, and the Roshan is up, the second one. They're just not going to have the damage to be able to deal with this. Even the Exorcism not being available, of course, with playing on the Radiant side with a Tusk, that's really what you're looking to prioritize any time you've got the option to do so. But got a Bristleback. He's level 18. He's got that Warpath maxed out, getting closer and closer to finish up that big timing that I was talking about in the AC. Only 100 or so gold away. Get that plus the Aegis, then suddenly it's actually Neon that are back into the driver's seat.
I feel like we're just seeing what can happen in fights if particular heroes have a free engagement. I think that fight in particular was Enryu with how much he was able to do. And you mentioned before that Brewmaster is really this key factor for Neon. Like, Enryu has to do so much for them to be able to excel in fights. And we saw that in the previous fight, but can he do it again for this Roche fight?
I don't know if there even will be a fight. There's no black hole, there's no exo, there's no meta. What can they do? They've got no vision yet as well on Atlantis, just getting removed away, and they're just going to have to sit back and watch as this happens in front of them.
WS, they see the Enigma. It's a big pickoff. It's got a BKB. You can think about a TP. Just look to blink out instead. But that is, again, a BKB expender for WS. So now you don't have to worry about the BKB black hole for at least 75 seconds.
So now it's just about changing your priorities on Neon. The audible call is just going to be, all right, play hard. We don't need your Echo Slam this fight. Just make sure that you never get caught with that black hole, and we're good. You know, you're always going to be able to get that cancel off. You're the easiest one to be able to do so with your great range that you've got. He's picked up the Aether Lens. He's still a fair ways away from level 20 for the extra fissure range, but he's still having such a big influence on all these team fights. Another
interesting item is Avatar mode. Kind of a pipe dream, honestly, with this Bash sub, but I mean,
you would hope that Enryu doesn't finish up his build here with the AC as well, considering.
You would hope so.
So going one, but you know, this is a stressful situation. This is TI on the line.
See what Atlantis can do. They defended their high gun incredibly well last stages. Can they do it again though? Mega Rose is out with the break, but as soon as they see the Primal split, it's going to force Atlantis back. The Cyclone Panda is the most important one as well.
Now it feels like he can Guardian Angel pretty reliably. They look to commit with this.
Fortune Soul. We're going to see that jump in. Break is out, but again, a beautiful fissure. And the Shards is just shy. We're seeing play hard. I mean, there's fissures. Yeah, they're just off the mark here to keep the Bristle back in a position where they can start to beat into him.
Well, there is a win condition that's going to reveal itself soon enough, and that's going to be on Ayat, the Tusk, the Aghanim's Scepter coming through. But he's still a little bit away. You know, he's a bit over 2 components into it. This is the way you beat it, right? Especially with these lineups where only one person wants to be revealing with the push. They're just going to be the ones.
They're going to jump in. They know no one's behind the Bristleback. They kill the first life, and now they get Black Hole for the second life. He's got BKB ready. WS, he's in, but they get the bash. No way. No way. They got lucky enough. And now Fortune Soul is going to be okay, but it's going to be cautious because Mango Rose on the meta. He's a threat that they need to respect, but the rest of the team are crumbling behind the Terrorblade as Play Hard is in over the top. The Echo into the fissure. Mango Rose needs a Thunder target, and he'll find it. But can they kite the TB? The Skadi's proving to be an issue for the moment. The Chen will not be able to reposition, but Neon...
They're running back in?
They can consider about going back in.
Another good fissure.
To reset as Avatar mode trying to see an opening. They won't be able to cancel the TB. But hang on. They left Mango Rose, guys. The Terrorblade, he needs assistance. It's just Ponyo nearby, but the meta's going to expire shortly. Where's the damage going to come out as soon as he loses the Metamorphosis? One more Remnant, and the Ember's okay. And now Atlantis, you are stuck in the middle of the fight with no way to escape. And instead, they'll just leave the Terrorblade, trying to deal with the supporting cast, moving to the Omni Knight instead. Now you can turn your attention back to Mango Rose. Operation Keep the Terrorblade alive, so Ponyo is going to look to buy back, doing whatever he can. The consistent sustain is still proving to be an issue, and he actually might live. And what is this madman doing? Mango Rose is running back in. Oh,
no cares in the world. They'll see him coming through, though.
Game.
They see him coming through. They see him was underneath that Observer and Sentry Ward, but they're going to have to back off entirely. I mean, this is what I was talking about in terms of the good carry-to-carry matchup. Yes, you've got great ways to deal with the TB illusions, with the Brewmaster, and, I mean, can we just talk on that point as well, with the Lucky Bash coming through from Avatar mode, with the Sleight of Fist just... Not even just the fact that you got the bash during the Sleight of Fist, but you got it onto the perfect target that was needed to be able to turn that one around. I mean, good God, Gaben is smiling on Neon today.
I am not an Ember player, so I'm not sure at all, but can you slight an Abyssal through that from afar? Like, is he... Are you
I'm gonna say
ever going
yes. You think I'm an Ember player? You know I'm
Okay.
a support, mate.
As a analyst, you should know everything.
Yes, I completely agree. What an absolute trash can.
Well, oh my god. Honestly, before I was gonna say, I feel like Ember needs 25. Like, he actually needs these 2 slider fist charges to at least have a second opportunity to maybe find the bash, but
Just bash forehead.
just bash. Just bash. Thank you, gave him easy %. He's got Spell-Prism as a potential, so now more slides. Not even just that. I mean, this hero thrives with a Spell-Prism. Avatar mode 8, 1, and 8 on the Ember Spirit. What a performance he has had so far for Neon, but what a neck-and-neck game we have. An elimination series. Atlantis 1 game away of being eliminated from their TI qualifier run. I want something else to say about it.
You've got the refresher now available on the Enigma. Looks like he's going to have enough mana to be able to cast it as well. That has been the case a bunch of times where we see, you know, these Mars, these Doomed players where they're like, you know what, I'm going to have a refresher in my BKB and all these other items without a Soul Ring. I'm not sure if you actually have the damage to be able to pull it off. Enigma, he does. He's got the Arcane Boots picked up, so he's going to have plenty towards it. Tusk as well closing in on that Aghanim Scepter, only 600 or so gold away. I wonder if Atlantis are even going to try and bait them into going for that high ground push. You know, take a quote-unquote bad team fight with someone, bait the fact that they've got the buyback on someone, and then, you know, use that to be able to get the kickback underneath the tier 4 tower and burst it down.
I love the position we're in because we can just look at either side and be like, holy shit, man. They're really starting to pick up some important items. And even neutral items as well. Like, Play Hard, he just got the Timeless Relic on the Earthshaker too, along with the Enigma. So both these heroes are going to be doing a crap load of damage. I mean, Enryu's going Scepter next item, so we're going to see that new Primal Companion, which I have not seen yet. You've got the items.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have. You even seen it in general? I've not seen this, so this is going to be exciting for me. This is a beautiful thing.
It a couple of times, so it's interesting. Let's see if they're able to pick it off. Ayad actually on the journey towards his Aghanim Scepter. He ends up picking it up, but that means he's not going to have any buyback. The plus side, though, for Atlantis is he's still a support. He's still playing on the very top side of the map, completely away from any potential objectives that they were able to take in exchange. So maybe you lose a tier 1 tower as a result of this, but I feel like you're okay with that in general.
All eyes now, and for both teams, you need to be talking about how this next Roche fight is going to occur, what the best scenario is, because we're looking with Roche potentially spawning in the next 30 seconds. So top lane is where everyone is going to be looking at how they can set their wards up, their sentries, how you can get top lane shoved in. Honestly, all lanes, because for Dire, if you have bottom lane completely shoved in, which they have the capability to do so because you do have this barracks advantage, then it could force Atlantis to come back and defend. And as soon as they break their formation, the Neon can pounce. They can invade into the triangle. They can consider about taking Roche. So Neon have a slight advantage with this next Roche coming up shortly, just thanks to the objectives.
Don't you like some of these unorthodox item builds that they're going for? I'm going to have to speak quick because there's a smoke coming through from Atlantis. But even just things like the Chen going the Wind Waker is the quick buy to be a response to that black hole in case, you know, you don't get the lucky bash through on the Ember Spirit. He's only 1 level away from 25 as well for those double Sleight of Fist charges. He's got the Abyssal Blade finished up. But there's another one of those items as well. The Scythe of Ice coming through from Wonder Boy.
Onto Enryu! No, you need this hero! Oh, no, and they've got a DD and an Arcane. These are some of the best runes for Atlantis to play with now.
You've got to keep one of those Eidolons inside the Roche pit, surely.
Just spawned.
He'll eventually end up sending them back, or won't he?
Never refuse.
Oh, they're kind of indecisive here. And the first team that has that bit of information is Neon. They know that it's up because of the Sated Tormentor. And, I mean, if Atlantis aren't taking it, it means that they're positioning themselves aggressively. So Neon, wisely enough, backing up inside the safety of their own base. It's going to cost Atlantis a smoke as well. That probably isn't going to result in too much of anything. So they've been able to withstand with not too significant casualties. It's actually the range barracks at bottom side that's going to force a movement back. from WS here on the Enigma, and will that cause them to immediately look to go for some kind of smoke play? Even Ember Spirit just coming out into this lane saying, group up, we want to smoke right now. Punish the fact that Enigma's not there. We know that the Roshan is up. Let's go. Let's do this immediately. We've got the outnumber.
Yeah, you got to get map control now. Like you said, you see the Enigma down bottom, so instantly Neon, they need to get control of the pit. Drop wards, drop everything possible to try and enable this fight. They're going to see Ponyo. It's a big kill if they can find it, but the Fissure, we haven't seen enough of them from Play Hard. He's had a pretty good game so far. And now with the kickback. There's the reveal of the Scepter. They get the break, and now the Bristleback's in trouble. Where's the assistance? Heal's coming through thanks to the Champ, but the Fear! No way! They'll kill off Fortune Soul. He's got a buyback. They won't have the Chen, though. Simultaneously, WS, he did have to expend the BKB. So he will... Oh, it's really awkward now on what the Enigma does with this first black hole.
The kick, into the stun, into the break, into everything else, just completely ripping through that Bristleback. And do they full on commit for this? It almost feels like they have to, but how quickly is Roche falling? It's already less than half HP. They're not going to be able to get there in time. So this is a huge buyback expended for no gain for Fortune Soul.
Ayad, they're going to jump the toss to the northern side. Echo even dropped from Play Hard. Looking to secure the killer. Get out! Oh, WS. Oh, no. Off to the right side, though. Mango Rose is on the Bristleback, but he's going to be able to reposition. Fortune Soul's okay. Stepping out of the right side, but meanwhile, and the other skirmish going on, and Ryu's in a little bit of trouble. The goddamn Oak is still told him to get some distance, and the Aeon Disc will be forced to be activated. So Enryu, he'll get the ultimate off, buying some valuable time for the rest of Neon to move to top.
WS refreshed on the back line. Just trying to keep this lane pushing as much as possible. Keep them, well, it's not like they have the potential really to push into you, right? I mean, look at the difference in net worth between the Terrorblade and the Bristleback. This is what we were talking about in terms of strong carry-to-carry matchups. You don't see one more clear-cut than this. And
they, without a doubt, have a potential to kill the Bristleback instantly again. As I'll Wonder Boy jump onto the Ember with the ward on the high ground. Scouting out Avatar Mode's position, but the rest of the team are too late to follow up. They are incredibly disconnected because down to the south, Ayad is going to kick Play Hard back into the river where the rest of Atlantis are just waiting. This Arcative Scepter from the Task proving to be a big issue, and Neon have no answers.
None at all. I mean, win probability starting to go a lot stronger in Atlantis' favor, and for a good reason. I mean, they've hit all their timings that they could possibly need. The support's truly coming online now. Maybe not so much Ponyo, but his positioning has been the real standout for him. It's that high ground push. Echo Slam available. They've popped. And they are going to get the refresh, I suppose, but it's not really going to be anything that forces Mango Rose to back off entirely. He is just so tanky.
Look at Ayad's positioning. If he sees 1 second mid open, he's going to go. His kick will be a guaranteed kill.
He really wants to play hard if he can get it. Even might be worth sending one of those Eidolons a little bit more forward just to get the vision. Right now it's sitting behind the Terrorblade, but taking a full set of racks is going to be valuable enough.
Attention into the second they go on Atlantis. The top, smoking behind Mango Rose to jump in from Enryu. Hanging on a night. Oh, they own this. That's important. Look at Ayad's position.
Available on Ember. What can you do against this? Absolutely nothing. Even through the back door, perhaps?
Enryu's trying to step forward. They're going to see Ayad. He's got to be quick, though, to get the ultimate off before the Hex, and they find it out, but Play Hard! Echoes follow up, but it will not matter as the Brewmaster doesn't have an opportunity for the Primal Split. They'll kill off Enryu, and back throughout the lane, though, the Bristleback, he's completely isolated!
You are indeed, my man!
Black Hole into the Metamorphosis, but there's no follow-up without the break. They don't get the kill, but they can still chase him down afterwards. A dieback on Fortune Soul, and maybe the hopes of Neon taking this game too, evaporating with that death. How can they stem this? How can they hold this game?
I don't think they can. They cannot at all. And, well, they're just going to push in onto these tier 4s, realizing they can't take bottom tier 2.
Oh, again, the
Win another
kickback.
kickback. Dieback coming through from the Bristleback. No, sorry, from the Brewmaster. Bristle's still on the deck for 1.5 minutes. You just got to go. He's got to go for some kind of ballsy plays, man. He is the one with buyback that they've got at their disposal.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Another round of the meta that you've got to go into.
Yeah, extra 20-second duration onto it as well.
They got the Hex. Wonder Boy. What an item pickup. What an item purchase from Wonder Boy. The Hex is giving them multiple options to find that initial stun. And now Playhard's going to be kicked into the middle again. Ayat never misses. What a performance.
Hasn't missed a shard the entire game.
Oh, the shard has been a bit off the mark, but his kicks in general, they're not off the mark. Atlantis, they'll tie the series. They will not go down without a fight.
Today are 2-1s today, Lockie, and well, it is a nice little contrast to what we saw yesterday. 2-0s across the board. This time around, much more even, and it does come down to those little mistakes, right? Those tiny bit of difference makers. We saw even Atlantis made a few, popping the meta perhaps a little bit too aggressively, and they're feeling a bit flat on Neon. Understandably, I thought that they had the better draft by far, but